Hi, today I wish to talk to you about chess discipline, a word that I don't really muster up great thoughts about chess discipline because it sounds like something I might not like, and it probably is, but there are different aspects to this word discipline, which some of them are quite meaty in detail about what discipline actually means. So, firstly, I might go off topic from time to time, although the content of this chess talk is particularly focused on that of discipline in chess. Why talk about this subject matter for Chess Channel? Because this is an issue for me in chess. Why I often drop the ball, blunder. That lovely word, isn't it? Isn't it a lovely word, blunder? But how often do you or I say, I won't do that again, even in life? It might even be an issue for other chess players out there to blunder, to drop the ball. So the starting chess position move 1 for white and black is the most difficult part of the whole game. In fact, all moves 1 for white and black are perfectly playable, even by current world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. More on that shortly. Easy principles to learn. This is where I might digress. Especially for new players, is 1, to have fun, 2, play to learn, and if you win, it's a bonus. Yes, I myself at my age like to play random as a non-diploom, particularly that on chess.com. Thank you, chess.com. Pre-moves with gambit being my particular emphasis of play, or focus of play, to experiment and thereby extend my abilities at the given chessboard, underneath my hiding place at my PC computer, that sort of thing. One of my chess friends says, don't fixate on just 1 e4 or d4 for move 1 for white, or similar there of black like d5 and e5 or c5. But play other moves, for example 1 c3, then 2, move 2, queen c2. That way, for white, you'll have fun and experiment. And then when you go back later to playing 1 d4, best move according to Stockfish, I think it's Stockfish 11, or e4 on move 1 for white, you'll know why you play those 2 opening moves. The opening in chess, which makes up as stage 1 of 3 parts to the game of chess, that is to say, if one even gets to complete the 3 stages in chess, be that defending or attacking with the initiative or positional prowess if you so like. The opening in chess is a rather hairy part of the game. The opening, that is, initially I myself knew nothing of the 3 stages of chess, let alone anything classed as an opening at all in chess. I just played the game, like checkers or drafts, or Monopoly, or the game of life. When I first heard of a chess club back in the 1970s, yes, that long ago, I thought it would be full of all old people with umbrellas and beds and trench coats, and that I would surely be the best and before my attendance there. Little did I know. Same can be said for and as when I approached creating this chess channel on YouTube. I thought initially that this chess channel was a first. It was a first for me, but I thought no one else would have thought of this. How naive. One only needs to see my initial channel creations to verify saying what I say here. At the chess club, once I come along, maybe, just maybe, I turn up there, and all there present will be in awe of me and my play. How pathetic and resigned is no point playing such a fine young person at that, a great chess player with a young mind to boot. That did happen for me at the Dutch club Drafts Club in Dunedin, but little did I know about the aspects of chess play at a regional chess club level. To get this, I wasn't even to be considered playing at the chess club senior part, as I hadn't first attended the juniors at that Otago Chess Club, which for age was my age appropriate bracket to attend back then, all those years ago, and can be my attitude a little in life still to this day. Apparently my pastor says, if I say to you, this is a digression, this is me digressing, if I say to you, I want you to do something, I bet you'll say no. So I will say, don't do that, and I think you will say, I'll do it. And this is quite interesting, isn't it? Because this is probably my nature. So, and I don't like being told to do a favour for someone because it just gets right up my nose. And so here we go. However, I managed to beat or smash, in my words back then on my score sheet, the junior coach of the Otago Chess Club. That win is white for me, where I played 1e4 against my opponent's c5 move, and that chess occurrence was very soon after his opinion of whether I could attend the adult club straight away or not, as he didn't want me to, did not rear its head ever again after that time, or after that chess game. Anyway, I attended the adult club at the Otago Chess Club from the very onset. So I am right about how good I am, right? No, chess is an ongoing discipline, where on and off the board I at least to say deviate from the off the chessboard principles, at least for me. So if you want to learn how to beat me, this is how you beat me. One, talk to me about something that really interests me apart from chess. That might be Christianity, or it might be something else. In chess and life, even this, sorry to say, but happy to say too also, this chess lecture, an essay has 3 parts to it also. An introduction, body or subject matter, and a conclusion. Everything in life has start, middle, finish. I personally always need to recognise or keep remembering or learning this in chess, that there is a start, opening, yep, I got the word, middle game, and a finish, the end game. To be aware of these future parts, but not to play the other part to reach that part. For example, opening in chess is merely that. Be aware of the endgame when moving pawns about, even I. But don't do as the endgame says to do in the opening, grabbing pawns. This is not advised. Although we can get away with it, it's not advised for your general overall play and appreciation of the game of chess. It's sort of like we can all get away with this because we win the game. But it's not the way the great chess players play, even though they break rules and and bandit blitz chess and all that sort of thing. I wish therefore to speak about discipline in chess, and I hope that my experiences in chess will ultimately help you in some way with your game of chess, or anything for that matter that you put your hand to, which is actually scriptural. Just writing about the subject, chess discipline, for me, even though I have a great love for chess, requires a great self-discipline for myself that I don't often adhere to. But here goes. So that's sort of the start, isn't it? So anyway, discipline is almost, in some cases, considered by some as a swear word. But if one is disciplined, and the word discipline can be rather a positive. Anyway, to be disciplined here's what the Oxford Mini Dictionary has to say about the context of this subject matter. Discipline, that is, not chess, else we'd be here all day. And please note, I did have a much larger portion of description for this word derived from the internet, but went with what's at home instead. So I've got the Oxford Mini Dictionary. I think I've got it here still. Yeah, I have. So there it is there. It's a very small dictionary. It's what I can actually kind of understand, but English is not my best or that sort of thing subject. Although I did okay at it, but it's not my strong subject. It's not like chess for me. So anyway, I went with this, what I've got at home instead, because the other one was like almost this Sermon on the Mount. Anyway, before that though, here the Weegenaar says to be in the SAS, the Special Air Services, which started about 1942, 43, 41, where who dares wins is their motto, and also mine now in chess, requires a great discipline, and a way bigger discipline than just merely pushing the bits around. An understatement, rather, a great discipline, much greater discipline than that to play chess. Although some professional chess players do, although the risks aren't nearly the same other than their bank account. But this does depend on one's attitude or outlook. In the SAS, it means also to keep oneself and the group safe, with inverted commas around the word safe. A huge discipline in itself. Heather also says that there are 3 types of discipline according to a Google search. 1. Preventative discipline. 2. Supportive discipline. 3. Corrective discipline. Now, if I was my pastor, that would probably be the points of my sermon or my lecture or whatever you want to call it. Of which I say I'll go out on a limb here. We could all relate to our given chess game to these 3 types of discipline, which are, again, to reiterate, preventative and supportive and corrective. I was going to say I will portion the meaning of discipline out here as quite a lengthy detail, and I'll try and keep it pertaining to the subject matter. However, I have since, as mentioned prior, sought out my home Oxford's account instead. And as I was going to say initially also, the definition context of a word, at least of old, in dictionary form, will not use the search word in its meaning matter base, a discipline in itself, I'd say. But this seems not to be the case anymore from at least my point of view and my research. Oxford Mini Dictionary meaning states the following. Discipline, the noun, orderly or controlled behaviour. Training or control producing this. Branch of learning. Verb train to be orderly. So the verb is train to be orderly. The train's coming. Disciplines, plural noun. I don't know. The practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behaviour, using punishment to correct disobedience. That might be for us in chess, grilling oneself about my mistakes, not merely shrugging it off at the end of the game and being anti our opponent. I always easily recall, for some strange reason, my younger brother, upon once staying out all night, then coming back home to find Dad was ready and waiting for him at about 6:22 a.m. My dad said to my younger brother, "I'm going to have to punish you for this, and it's going to really hurt me more than it will hurt you." So my younger brother said, in my own words of course, but I was listening, "Let's just save the two of us, Dad," or words to that effect, "from this hurt." Needless to say, the punishment went ahead. I counted it, but can't remember how many. And I was feeling a sense of, yay, justice. See, my brother would, if interested in chess, make an entirely better chess player than me, as he is disciplined and his life skills greater than that of myself. Whoops, I've just swung the board up there a bit. Oh no, I haven't. Discipline and disciplined are viewed as a positive and also as a negative, from whatever corner one looks at them, and when in life one looks at them. So it all depends on what position you're looking at these in life and on the chessboard. I mean, Capablanca, nicknamed the human chess machine back then, said once, "You may learn much more from a game you lose than from a game you win. You will have to lose hundreds of games before becoming a good player." Or he probably might have said it more like this: "You may learn much more from a game you lose than from a game you will win. You will have to lose hundreds of games before becoming a good player." Jose Capablanca. This in itself, that's my mouse by the way, so it's not a real mouse, it's just a mouse like that. This in itself is quite an interesting statement. You don't think I've remembered all this, do you? No one, including me, likes losing or coming second. But this experience is according to Capablanca, necessary. So imagine if I did attend the chess club in my youth and beat everyone raw at that my play. What then would I view the game of chess like? It would no doubt bore me, or I would attain world champion of chess. Clearly I know how to move the pieces around the board, and lol, pawns too, frankly put. However, I keep making some same mistakes over and over and over again, just like the Fleetwood Mac song. That's where discipline comes to the fore, to the front, in my face, and that was added just then. That was impromptu. I am now thankful for the discipline, mostly, that I received as a boy and at school, although I hardly liked it at the time. In watching YouTube police interrogations, I have noticed the interviewee inquires of schooling of the accused. Note the word accused. I have not said the guilty. I have said the accused, although that is changing as I so see now. I have, since my research upon the word discipline today, realised the nature of this question by these interrogators or police detectives or FBI or what have you. Schooling and parents are regarded as very important elements to one's adulthood. Before you say what's that got to do with chess, I would say this, okay? Even Bobby Fischer has been psychologically profiled as to his mental state on the internet, whereby the doctor specialist profiles our great player under Ocean's abbreviation. That's OCEANS abbreviation. So interesting, back to topic, maybe. So here for lightness here, to be undisciplined or underdisciplined or underdisciplined, I state some way cool chess statements that I found when I was looking for Capablanca's one to be completely correct with, as far as I know, what he said back then. Okay, so here they go. Chess is a fairy tale of 1,001 blunders. Tatekoa. Now, I've probably said that wrong, but he also wrote, the blunders are all there on the board waiting to be made. Okay, so chess is a fairy tale of 1,001 blunders. The blunders are all there on the board waiting to be made. Up to this point, White has been following well-known analysis. Okay, White's followed the book line, but now he makes a fatal error. He begins to use his own head. Tarish. Give me a difficult positional game. I will play it, but totally one positions, I cannot stand them. Donna. Half the variations which are calculated in a tournament game turn out to be completely superfluous. Unfortunately, no one knows in advance, which is also making me think of my previous chess video, which is hindsight. Unfortunately, no one knows in advance which half. Jan Timman from Holland. I use 98% of my mental energy. I should say this in an American voice, if you know what I mean. I should use 98. No, that's not right. And so I do not edit this out. This goes completely the way you see it, as it was when I was on stage for New Zealand's Got Chess. New Zealand's Got Chess Talent, not New Zealand's Got Talent. So I use 98% of my mental energy for chess. Others use 2%. Bobby Fischer. Wow. Modern chess is too much concerned with things like pawn structure. Forget it. Checkmate ends the game. Nigel Short, one of the greats. Here's discipline expressed in and for you, the chess player. Your body, this is one that is actually to do with the subject, actually, believe it or not. Believe it or not. Here's discipline expressed in and for you, the chess player at home. Your body has to be in top condition. Your chess deteriorates as your body does. Ask me about that. I know what I'm talking about. You cannot separate body from mind. Who said that? I've already mentioned this player, one of the best chess players ever to be. And according to my friend's book, he's number 2 under Garry Kasparov. But I've heard Magnus Carlsen is now in that spot for number 1. Bobby Fischer. That's what Bobby Fischer said. Your body has to be in top condition. Your chess deteriorates as your body does. You can't separate body from your mind. Back to subject matter. Although that was. I recall a time whereby there was a chess problem to work out on the chessboard. And the number 2 chess player from best chess player from New Zealand was instructing me not to touch the pieces or to move them around, as I was doing same. However, others more disciplined did not, one of who got double honours at Otago University and became as well an international master, which I am not, of course, and a New Zealand champion a number of times in classical play, etc. I myself notice when I place a chess problem in public, the famous chess problem where white with the move delivers checkmate in only one move. And guess what? The incorrect answers and comments quickly rush in from the floor or from the internet. for the answer. I know, it's is often always wrong, as there may be an in-between check or move defence or sacrificial obstruction to make it go and last longer, even though black ultimately loses. So we often try to do, or excuse me, I'll just have to find my bearings again. So we often try to do something when it's just checkmate with your eyes, then with our hands and everywhere else instead. We have weaknesses in these. That might be incorrect, that, I'm not sure. We have weaknesses in these, so I'm just basically saying we often try to do something when it's just checkmate, easily seen with our eyes, instead of with us moving the pieces around with our hands. We have weaknesses in these sorts of things, or I do. But might at the board proper maybe even see that mate in one move. We might actually see it. I myself, I play Sudoku, even though I thought it was a dumb game initially, as it looked to be so simple to place 9 numbers in a given box. So what was my problem? There's nothing reason to play that silly game Sudoku. So my judgment herewith isn't great. In Sudoku, which incidentally I really enjoy playing, and it's quite good because it's very methodical and you need to almost find the best move all the time. In Sudoku it can be rather easy, like chess, to think this is the correct numeral placement, then to find later on, when a big mess occurs on my parchment of paper Sudoku game, it isn't the correct placement. So this in chess is another subject entirely, or is it about consequences? Chess is a discipline on and off the board, as I've already mentioned. That means focusing on your game at hand, not being too involved with other games around you, and also making sure you come prepared. By that, I don't merely mean or refer to opening booked up knowledge, which is also very important, but that you've had a good rest, good food, exercised, refreshed, good sleep, not played 1,000 lightning games in between the rounds, no health issues bothering you at the time or at the board before entering the said chess tournament, like that worry of what's going on with my stomach, for example. Come to the board eager to play chess, enjoy, and remember my own, which aren't mine, of course, the 5 respects. If one comes to the chessboard and doesn't account for why and that they might lose because of a mistake that I made, and I cannot respect my opponent or his or her pawns and pieces, and respect myself and my bits and pawns times 8, or the game of chess and my bits and pawns, which for me, so I'll just say that again, and my bits and pawns times 8, or the game of chess, which for me is now mostly a game, unless one sees behind the scenes at times, whereby when I operate that way without discipline, my game turns corrupt, let me say the least. I spend a lot of time talking to chess players about what, in my opinion, to do before, during and after a game of chess, and also reaffirming discipline in chess for myself. There are chess players that I admire, frankly, whom I've interviewed for this chess channel, that reflect post their game on their mistakes in that game, even if they would ultimately win. That really impresses me. This is a very important aspect to anyone's game or games, no matter who you are. No doubt, when Magnus Carlsen, the world chess champion of course, recently lost his game to young Russian Grandmaster Andrei Esipenko, 18-year-old, and Magnus is 30, of course, he would have been annoyed but forthright in his application of what happened for him at the board prior, during and after. This is frankly why Magnus Carlsen is considered to be the greatest chess player or the greatest chess player ever of all time, even against that of Capablanca or Alkine or Kasparov. That's why he is frankly considered to be that best player ever. And of course there's going to be a variation on that theme, but that's what this person has said. Although that can be an opinion of the author, it cannot be said that he has become a grandmaster at the early age of 13. I think I am correct in there, and exceeded ratings to date that have ever, and is at the age of 30 still going very, very strong. The calibre of play at his level I cannot relate to, as my calibre of play is round the 21 level for Blitz and lower for other formats, generally speaking, although that I'm not talking about that so much here, but I'm just saying that can vary as my rating goes up and down. I find my equal opponents in that format to be playing well past their respective rating, or playing like world chess champion Magnus Carlsen themselves. I do need to be aware though, of course, that I'm not there to lose. So now, some more detail about this discipline in chess, or whatever your individual pursuit. Okay, so now some more detail about this discipline in chess, or whatever your individual pursuit is. I believe that Super Grandmaster Wesley So recently said, after world chess champion Magnus Carlsen played 1f3 against him, I might be wrong because I haven't looked into it in its entirety, if he wins this game I should retire from chess. Incidentally, one move 1f3 in itself isn't a bad move on its own in the opening. However, if combined with 2 move 2 g4, it might be or constitute an issue for white in the opening, and soon become the endgame, even for the prowess of Magnus Carlsen's play. So what I'm saying there is that it doesn't matter who you are, if you go against this general principle of playing 1f3 and then play move 2 g4, you might get checkmated on black's second move. So these are principles that, even though one marches their king up the board, or plays the Norwegian racked opening, these aren't fatal mistakes, as I will also speak about soon herewith. Our international master said often, here he comes here, you can make some opening mistakes and get away with it in the opening, but not too many. He also said, if you are offered a gambit pawn, back then, we're talking 1980s, 1970s, if you are offered a gambit pawn, accept it and be ready to give it back at an opportune time for you to give it back to get the better game, or words to that effect, without me being verbatim. So now to close, as a long time ago in this chess video, I had promised you, okay, I will now verbatimly read out the recording comments of the 4 principal structures in chess, according to one of my best chess friends of yesterday's date, where it was recorded, whom incidentally this person beats me at the board, okay, beats me at the chessboard. It's hard to say, but it's true. At times, or draws, especially if I play against my advice here, like I'm tired. I shouldn't play in this tournament, although that can easily be construed, and is, as an excuse, but it was the defining moment for me back then. of my overall play in that tournament. Well, I still did okay in that rapid tournament, but I scored 50%. And also all chess players, like this great chess friend of mine, can bite, especially him. Anyway, here it is, verbatim. And score yesterday, by the way, was 2-0 in the 5-minute games. But I will not tell you who by. So, here we begin. Now you will find out this person's name, and then this video will self-destruct in 10 seconds. So, I'm Andy. I think that there's 4 dimensions to chess. The first dimension is the material imbalance in the position. So who's got more material than the other person? The second dimension is the level of initiative that one player has versus the other. So, are you attacking or defending, and can you keep pressing that attack? It's kind of related to tempi on the board. The third dimension is the long-term structural position of the pieces and the pawns. So have you got any structural advantages like a really great pawn structure or pass pawn? Those things that are hard to change quickly. And the final dimension is time, like clock time. So, and the final dimension is time. He didn't say that verbatim like that. He said, and the final dimension is time, like clock time. The amount of time you have on your clock. And so the art of chess is about knowing trade-offs from one of those things to another. So you might sacrifice material for an initiative, and then with your initiative you may come out with a long time positional advantage. So you might destroy the opponent's pawn structure, then swap into a 1 endgame. So it's all about knowing which trade-offs to make. And quite often people get fixated on just the material and forget about the other things I spoke about. Thanks. Andy said this all in under 2 minutes. That's discipline.